Alright, welcome back everyone. Lucky day number 13 of this build. Got, like I said, I think pretty much finished our interior. We got that one little piece left to put in on their mantelpiece here. I got a little mirror to make, or finish trimming up. But I'm really pleased with how this one's turned out. Sort of, more complicated than usual, but sometimes it's good to challenge yourself and get some expand your skill set. That's what I like about this type of set. They're a little frustrating and long and drug out, but they really make you feel like you've done something in the end. But if you're new here, this is what I do. I buy these kits and build them step by step, mostly in real time. You get to see all my successes and all my failures and how I hopefully fix those inevitable failures as they come up. Upload daily and just trying to have a good time. We're not solving the world's problems, just building silly little models, having a bit of fun. If you see any kits or builds or sets you want me to take a shot at, feel free to drop in the comments. I'm always looking to add on to my list. And I got the most intelligent audience in YouTube because y'all provide me with nothing but the best of options. That being said, we're ready to get rolling on here. Like I said, I framed up the mirror last night with our glue, and of course the reflection's not showing it, but it stayed pretty well in place, so I'm happy about that. And I'm just going to place it right there, sort of in the center of our mantle. Well, the glue works still. Right there in the center of the mantelpiece. Back there, just a little detail. There's not. That's where they've got it, and I think that seems like a good enough place for me. No, I shouldn't have put it back there. Okay, there it goes. But I'm just going to have it. They've got it angled a little bit. I'm going to have it standing straight up against the wall, just because I've got that camel there and I put it in the way, and this will be easier for me. Still get the same effect. B7000 on it. Just going to put me a few drops on the back here. And they don't show up at all on that white, but they're there. Get that up again. Maybe I can get it angled where it'll show. Probably not. Doesn't really matter. You're going to see it's going to work when I stick it on there, I hope. Okay, so I'll get you there. Just going to pop you up against there. I say just a little. Oh. Thought I was going to do that. Didn't seem to be. Okay, it finally grabbed on. Wasn't pushing far enough down. Okay, but you got just a little mirror on the mantelpiece, sort of a little decoration, take up some space. What it looks like to me. And one other thing I've got to do before we finish up here, I got to trim the heel off my stocking here because it's in the way of where my wall comes in. I sort of discovered that last night. So, right here. Hopefully it'll cooperate with me. Also, it's going to be behind back in the corner, so it's not like it's going to show, but of course this is the double thick stocking, because it's actually holding stuff. So I'm going to go through 2 layers of felt for it. Maybe it'll go eventually. Didn't think it'd be this much trouble. Let's see if get some scissors in underneath there. Maybe it's fighting me. I must have put some glue there. Okay. There we go. That's an ugly cut, but I think it'll work. Check my clearance here. I kid you not, I've been sitting here waiting all day for her to use that litter box, and she's eyeballing it now. I don't know, maybe another false alarm like last night, but okay, so that gets us clearance on there, so that's gonna work on that part. Okay, so now figure out where I'm going to clamp it. Obviously I need to, whoop, I'm way too close for this part. Toss this guy. So I think I'm going to get it, I get the wires lined up so they're not underneath it, so it is as flat as can be. Okay, so it is pressing down on our little sideboard there, and okay, so that's coming out. Got clearance on that. Okay, things looking good, I think. Yep, there she goes. Let me give her a minute of privacy and we'll be right back. Okay, I'm still not convinced she doesn't do that on purpose. Okay, so we got her. I think this is going to be good, so we can put some clamps down here on the bottom where the floor is at to hold it in, and then once we get those in place we can sort of situate the top. I think so this is going to work. So I'm probably going to have it like, not like that. Maybe lay it on its back to really get this lined up as good as I can. Make sure the initial hole probably doesn't need to be standing up, so I can make sure I can get the, yeah, okay. Okay, I think I got a plan now. So first thing, let me somewhere ahead. At one point I had some twisty ties around here to I used to sort of wrangle these wires up, but I think they'll be okay. So sort of get you guys over there this way. Push it back that way and get out the big tube of B7000. I'm going to be fairly generous along our support beam, or whatever you want to call this down here. Get, nice healthy dose. This is structural stuff now. This glue does dry pretty quick too, so it's, I think it's like 5 to 10 minutes you can handle it. I am going to give it a 15 or 20 minute break before I try anything silly. So I got a couple of other little things I can do that we may not see come to fruition until tomorrow night, but we can get prep started. Okay, so that, and then it's going to be a butt joint along the back. So and fairly structural, so I'm going to be fairly generous with it. Until my fingers start cramping up here. Trying to avoid the extreme top and bottom so it has room to, spread out a little bit. Okay. So now lift this guy up and pop you under. Get in the right place, and then back there. Ooh, I just found out I've got a good place to clamp it with this window. Okay, that's good. I got a good way to grab it to pull it, make sure it's going back. Yeah. Okay. That's a good place. I'm even going to use one of my cheap clamps for that. Okay, maybe I shouldn't. That should be okay. Okay, there they go. Grabbing on to the little convincing. All the way back, and this is staying together on the front too, and the bottom. So I'll go ahead and toss a clamp, set it right on there just to make sure it's in there. Likewise back here. then let's see if I can't slide it in. Right, make sure everything's seated in good. And do need to make sure I get this one on this corner here. Last one, just make sure it's flush there. It's just evening it out, not really trying to clamp it, just trying to make sure it's staying straight. Okay. Okay. All those guys going. So it looks got a little notch right there, but within tolerance for me. Side feels as good as the other side. Got a little, like I say, a little lip, but okay. Getting good pressure to the back, it looks like. I don't see anything there. Alright, yeah. So I think we're in good shape to let this thing set up. Like I say, I'll probably give it 20 or 30 minutes, and that should be handleable enough. But while it's doing that, if I can, okay, let me see if I can transfer it over to a piece of plastic here where it won't, maybe not pick up the whole thing that way. Flimsy plastic, but still should be okay. Okay, and just not to clamp off, of course. Fix that right quick and I'll be right back. Okay, I did have to break down and replace one of those clamps with a good one. It seems like these clamps used to work much better than this, and I haven't been overusing them or stressing them, so I don't really understand how they've gotten to where they don't work. Other than, you know, like I said the other day, I paid $1.99 for them, so they're not they're not exactly high quality. Yeah, right. So, but while we're letting that do its thing, I'm going to prep up for something we might do this later this evening or tomorrow. Cut me out some more of the green felt, and this is their felt, so it's not the stuff I bought. So this was part that was included in the kit. Hence the big old crease down the middle of it there. Separate these before I try and cut them out, give a little more room around them. Okay, so let's get a little Christmas tree detail they're putting on the outside. So it's just going to be something like that Have a little 3D, doesn't really show in the camera, but there's a nice little 3D effect with the branches, or the layers stacking. Probably show it better in the final product, but I think that's going to be cool. Stick those in a bowl so I remember it. And then work on, go ahead and cut out my windows while I'm here. These should be fairly straightforward cuts. They're mostly, you know, nice big arcs on them, so there shouldn't be that much drama to follow them. It's when they're tight, little tiny curves that throw me off. And I'm going to leave these attached because I want to take advantage of all the glue on both of them. They don't provide any secondary, there's no backups on this one. This acrylic or whatever it is. Of course, I generally end up getting glue on my fingers and then get spreading it to the windows when I do these things, so I've always got like little smears. Okay. Window pane number 1 with a glue string on it. I don't know if it's going to come off in one piece or not. Oh, but it's got a smear everywhere. Oh, well, hopefully that'll be behind some window frame or something. Okay. And big old circle for. I'll put one on there at the end. Ooh, the stencil went away. Hopefully there's some slop on this one. Okay, reasonably close to a circle. And more glue string on it. I don't know if it's hot glue or B7000. I think it's a B7000. Hot glue is generally not that flexible. Okay, those two out of the way. Now, what I think is probably going to be one of the most challenging cuts I've ever had to do. I cut this circle out, and it's a fairly small so I'm dreading that, especially the inner part. So I think my knife is going to be a way to go on the inner part, and then the outer with the scissors. I'm getting fairly good at doing curves with the X-Acto knife. Once we get to the point where I'm comfortable handling that the base and everything, I think we're going to roll along pretty quick on the actual stuff I've got planned to do tonight. That's why I'm going to go ahead and throw this stuff in now. I normally do this off camera, but I say this one I considered, I was thinking this is probably going to be the hardest one, so just take your time and work your way around a nice large arc. And if you're like me, make sure you got your specs on. I'm definitely getting to the point where my arms aren't long enough anymore. And the bad thing about that is I can't see far enough for my arms to be, it doesn't matter if my arms aren't long enough, I can't see far enough to see without them. The real trick on this one is going to be whether or not I actually made the cut all the way through on the first run. It seems like there's always a little bitty sliver that didn't cut when I do these. Drill down a little bit to the inside right there, but I think it's within reason. Okay, almost there. I can see where. Okay, let's find out. That didn't go there. Okay, so just one little spot. I got the track in, so it's easier to do the second time. I think that was it. I think I felt it go. Yes. Alright. You probably need to cut that out too. I didn't think about that. And on the outside, hopefully I can do this with my scissors without tearing the thing in half. Good spot to feed it through. Actually, started off there. I think it's easier to do with the knife. This thing's so floppy and fine. You gotta make sure I'm supporting it close enough that I don't tear it as I go around. I think I was doing better on the inside. Hopefully there's a little grace here. Start at okay. Over there. Okay, getting close. Okay. That one is okay. And just a teeny little piece. Well, that brow is going to break off for me. Yeah. Okay. There's a couple of places up there I'm not going to worry about. I don't have OCD, but if I did, that would bother me. And I think I'd have to fight it on this one because I don't think there's any way for me to cut that without tearing it or breaking it some way. Okay, so set you aside. I think this is just going to sit on top of this thing. Seems like that's about the right circumference diameter on the inside of our little doodad, so try and set you aside where I won't tear you. And then see what this one will do with just scissors, because I think it's a little bit more grabbable. Now we got a couple of notches here to take out, so got teeny tiny scissors. Okay. Well, that one's ready to go. And I think, take a quick look at all my instructions. I guess I can go ahead and glue in my windows. Okay, somebody's wanting some attention. Let me go check on her. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, she got herself stuck, so I wouldn't. Okay, I don't. Oh, okay. I got to make some decorations for that little tree I made earlier. I forgot about that. Okay. But yeah, it's just make those little. Nice. Just some garland and some little doodads, and then we're just down to wiring after that. Once we, I got to put our sides on, obviously. So I'm gonna put my windows in, and then get going on putting our covers on the sides. Okay, that seems like that should give us enough time, because we're sitting about 18 minutes in real time with my clamps and everything. So get this guy and this guy, so get our windows. Wait a second. Oh, there's an actual, there's a piece that didn't have to get cut somewhere. I'll put the one on that I did cut right now. So this goes on here. We got little outside lines on it, but I think, do we put the, okay, put the side on first, or the window in, or the window in first and the side on? Hang on. Okay, side goes on first, then window. Okay. Let's see, do I want to use, I think I'm going to try and shave just a sliver off this edge here, because that's just hanging over just a shade. So let's see. So I think I've got some wiggle room on it. So just not that much. Let's see how that worked. Straighten down there. Okay, I think that did a good job. Yeah, because I don't see any. I'll have to get still a little bit up here. I'll lay it down flat. Flat. Okay, it goes away when it's squared up good. Oh, no, it didn't. Yeah. No, get it. I must have got loose from my grip. Yeah, I need another sliver off. There you can sort of see. That's another bit, that much. Okay, a little bit in this. And I think that's going to get us. How's the top look? Yeah, I think that'll be alright. Okay, so put you aside. Grab a board. I don't get glue on my cutting board. Get the teeny tiny B7000 again. I'm just going to do clean off my nozzle again. The end of it anyway. Maybe hit the intersections here. Just the teeniest little bits. Top. Down here maybe. Let's see how this goes. Get all the trash off of it that I just put on it. Okay. I don't feel any overhang. I think that's pretty good. Nothing, maybe just a shade right there, but I think I can live with that little, like I said, just that little bitty kick right there. Alright, now let me find a place for you to live for a minute or two. And now, see if I can figure out what to do with that other piece of acrylic. Ah, there it is. It didn't have to be cut, so it got sort of shuffled away. I'm a little surprised I found it. But that is supposed to go right on there. And there's way too big. We got, you can wiggle, got plenty of wiggle room on this one, so I'm gonna, take a good chunk off of this because it's just got to be on the inside of this pit. So I'm gonna take. I'm not even gonna look. Just boom. Life on the wild side. Okay, and that got covered all the way top to bottom in our holes. Same thing over here. Got plenty of wiggle room on it, so I'm just gonna go crazy. Yeah, we got coverage and no overhang now. Alright, love it. Sometimes lucky's better than good. Because in general, I wouldn't recommend doing it like that. Look a little bit closer before you do it. Okay, so I'm gonna go sort of same thing, just a few dots. I'm gonna take a lot on this one, but this one is gonna be hanging down, so I'll be a little more generous with the glue. We've also got a little more space to play with it too. Okay, so I'll spread them around pretty good there. That ought to get us stuck in place. Momentarily lost where I've left it. Okay. That way. Right. Pressure down. I think I managed to get it on there without any fingerprints on either one of them. Still got that glue string going across, but that's still. Alright. Let me set you aside. Okay, so now we're looking at, in real time, it's been about 26 minutes for that, since I clamped that in place. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes. I want to get to a solid 30, maybe 45, and I'll come back and we'll, like I say, stick our sides on. I've already cut them out, they're ready to go. And that may be far enough tonight, considering all the little bits that we got to glue in place, but that's what I'll be right back with this part, and we'll see how I feel about it at that point. So, right back. Okay, I think we should be safe to pull these clamps now. Okay. I'm not going to stress it too much. I think we're got a little bit. That's actually pretty close on the edge there. Yeah, let's say a little smidge proud of the top, but within reason, I'm saying. And then got a little seepage on it, but still fresh enough where I can wipe it out. Okay, but looking pretty good. Let's see, it's starting. Let's see, trying to see. We have. Okay, we put the sides on first, and then the back goes on after. Okay, so start off, and we got. There's things that kind of wrap around. I would normally score them, but when I score them, it'll make a white line on there. So I'm gonna try not to score this one. Should be pretty good. Okay, now it does have, it goes off the front and back. So that's got a flap on either side. So we want to line up. Make sure we get our. You can sort of see that line. Maybe turn this one off and you see it better. A little more. Okay, yeah. Shows up better there. Let's say we got our lines there. That's the middle is the front, and it does wrap around to the inside of our structure on there. But we want to get that corner there, corner right there. So debating Let's see if we go. If I do just, obviously gonna get the big big tube out, and I'm thinking it's gonna do me a good bead right here across the top. Not even a good bead so much as just a bead. I can get it to work. Go all over the edge there. And then get it there, and you should be able to tell from the bottom. You know we're getting pretty close, getting it lined up in the top. No good way to do it without just picking it up and looking. Well, it seems to be pretty close on them. I think I can work with that. And like that. This is where I really wish I had my old squeegee. I never have found where I misplaced that thing too. But now, hopefully keep you in place and just do. Yep. So I'm going to try a different tube. I think this one may have been exposed to the air or something. I've got several of them. Let's see. I should be able to push that hard for it to come out. Okay. And that one feels like it. That didn't feel any better. Okay. Okay, got the teeny tiny one. I think it's gonna. Yeah, that one's not even opening. That may be one you're supposed to break off. How many more of these sample tubes have I got? Okay. Okay, that one felt pretty good opening it, so I'm thinking this might be alright. And I thought wrong. Well, it's working better than that other one. I need to order me some more glue is what I'm thinking. I'm learning here. Nice. All the way around, try and get somewhat of a bead down the edges, I hope. May finish the wrapping up tomorrow. And I sort of thought that was about to happen. Okay, so let's try and get this done. Need to reline it up again. Wasn't expecting this to be the difficult. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but I wasn't expecting the glue to not work being the problem. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, that appears to be on the dashed line there. Pretty close on there. We're doing top to bottom. Looks like it's pretty close. Now, so this is where a little squeegee deal would have been handy, so I'll just use it. I don't like using this corner, but I'll spread the glue out best I can. How's this looking? It's still looking good. Okay. I think it'll be alright. I'm going to start on the top, I believe. Use your back a little bit. And for the actual wrap part, I'm going to use the super glue. Because it seems like I've had luck with that in the past. I'll probably have to do 2 coats on here because the first one sort of soaks into this wood. And once it gets soaked in, that gives a good surface for the actual sticky part of the glue to stay on. Yep. Let's try and spread it out. You can see it soaks in and doesn't soak in all at the same time. Now I'll hit it again. Top of that stuff. Okay. And bring it down. Okay. It actually is lining up really nice in that. Oh, get my piece did line up right in to that back corner there. Seems to be staying down okay so far. My crease into that seam there. Okay. Let's see what happens. Hold it back. Just holding down. Lift it up a little bit so I can get more glue on there. This part. Okay, I thought I was going to do the whole thing, but I believe this is taking a little longer than I was expecting, but I think. Okay, that didn't. That's it. Bring it back. Paper and alright, that seems to have worked pretty nicely. Nice clean line there. Yeah, okay, I'm a little surprised, but I'm also very relieved because that means we should have a good system in place. Of course, now I got the issue of got overlap back here and up here, so which one do I want to wrinkle up? I think this one first, because it's only one fold rather than 2. Crease it back a little bit the other way. The same deal. Try and get a good coat. Just something to to let the wood absorb that first layer. Good bonding surface, I hope. And then down on top of that, and hopefully get a nice gluable, sticky surface. Pressure and a little, put some friction heat into it, and hopefully seems to be staying down pretty good. Corners lined up nice. Real pleased with that. Cool, cool, cool. Love it, love it. Seems like we got some nice edge there that we're gonna slap something on top of in a second. Or maybe tomorrow at this point. It's taking a little bit longer than I figured, but still pretty pleased with it. Yeah. Glue on here. And one more coating of. I say that wood just soaks right into that wood right off the bat, so I'm just trying to get a good layer or two on it. Or even really try and get it to stay down. Okay. Let's see what happens here. So I just build my heat with the thumb, get some friction going, and it gets that glue to stick a little bit better. Crease on that edge. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about this procedure taking this long. I'll probably do, since I got the window to deal with, I'll probably do this side tomorrow, but I'll do the back tonight too. Back. Since it's not as better surface on the inside again. Get some good, nice coat all the way up and down. I don't think I got to the top of it. Got some on the top, but not enough. And over there, got a little. Okay, get the fireplace is a little close, getting pressure on it. A little bit on this wood piece here, but I think within tolerance. I think I can ease it in there at that edge there. Okay, get a little. Didn't get that one all the way down right there. I don't know if I can get. That's an awful tiny one at a weird angle, so I don't know if I can get in there. Ooh, I think I did. Yeah, there we right, I'm very pleased with that. I say once I saw those extra flaps going around, I was concerned, but yeah, I got nice. The corners work nice. I got, of course, where I folded it a couple of times, getting a little uncovered, but yeah. All right. Now, back. It should be stable enough. This might. Oh no, I gotta do the other side before I do the back, but back will go on like that. So it's gonna line up really nice with those. The yellow is gonna line up just going around the corner. They did a good job picking that up. Gonna cover up. This is gonna be a nice one. If I can just get any semblance of getting it lined up. But like I said, I was going to do the back, but I got to do the other side first. So I better not do the back. Like I say, this side, I'll say do a quick dry fit of this one, see how close the window is to, because this will be what we have to line up more than anything. We got our window frame. Doesn't have any lip. Doesn't have a little lip on the window frame. Is it going to just go? Okay, wait a second. The window frame may be going. Window frame goes around the outside of the window, so we got some. There is some play with there. Okay, cool. It's okay that it doesn't line up perfectly. Because this is going to cover up our imperfections when the time comes. Yeah, so that's gonna be good. Cool. Love that. But like I say, we'll tackle this one tomorrow. I will, before I leave, I'll go ahead and knock out the putting that little wrap around our. Actually. Okay, yeah, it goes on the. Okay, the wrap goes on the lens, so not the. I thought it went on the frame. It goes on the glass. Okay, glad I looked. Get a hold of those. So this must go on here. That actually lines up much better with that one. Let's see, get my. And that new tube of B7000 I just got. New baby tube. Just do this tonight so it'll be ready to go tomorrow. Little dots along the edge. Let's see if I can get this to drop in place on the first try. Okay. There we go. Have a little bit around. You can see it's seepage there, but pretty. Good. Okay. Well, that's ready to go when we need it tomorrow, so that's one less thing I have to worry about then. But that's going to be enough for tonight, because I'm edging up towards that hour mark again. I think good progress made today. Like I say, I'm very pleased with how this, especially this top seam through here, turned out, lined up all the way around real nice. I may have to go get a marker and sort of color in this white where the folds back and forth. But other than that, like I say, I'm ecstatic that lined up that good, even along the bottom, nice and solid. Yeah, that's. I'd like to say it was skill, but I feel very much it was just luck. But anyways, folks, I'm gonna call it there tonight. We should wrap this one up tomorrow because the wiring shouldn't take too much effort. I think I'm got it lined up pretty good. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, complain, share. Do whatever you want to with all that. Be good to one another. Stay safe. And click on a link. There's my channel over there if you'd like to subscribe. There's my other channel where someday I'm going to do experiments and projects again. That's what YouTube thinks you should be watching. And over here is the playlist for this whole build. I'll see you tomorrow.